Namaskar. I, Shambhavi, welcome you all to your channel Galactic Echoes. So let's start exploring the wisdom of Vedic astrology. And I wish you all a very warm and happy Diwali. I hope that you all celebrate this Diwali with your family with extreme zeal and happiness. So today we'll be doing the video of DARAKARKA planet, that is the planet with the lowest degree in your chart in each of the 27 Nakshatras. Will manifest what kind of results it will give in your married life, in the personality of your spouse, and how should we decode it. So let's start the video and let's dive in. So if you have your DARAKARKA planet placed in the Ashwini nakshatra, that is the nakshatra falling in the sign of Aries, what you'll see is that your spouse's personality is very spontaneous. He wants to or she wants to act quickly. They are this kind of a person. They are someone with whom your relationship started as a flash, like instantly. You did not plan it out, and something like that did not happen. All the Ketu ruled nakshatra, if DARAKARKA is placed in any of the Ketu ruled nakshatra, Ashwini, Magha or Moola, theme which plays out here is instant relationship which starts. The other thing is your partner is upfront, straightforward. He wants to or she wants to act quickly, swiftly and very energetically in everything. He or she can be also a kind of a person or a kind of a energy through which you are going into some kind of a transformation, or he or she is helping you to cut off some previous systems or relationships so that you can start afresh. So decluttering your mental burdens can also be seen with this particular placement of the DARAKARKA in the Ashwini nakshatra. Your partner can be into healing professions. Specifically, he can or she can be a doctor, a surgeon, or in any of the healing professions they can be. They can also be physician. The surgeon thing will be only present if you are particularly a Virgo rising. Otherwise, the thing is that they can be any kind of a doctor. The Ketu is the ruling planet of this nakshatra, and Ketu gives separations sometime. So what kind of separation it will give? It does not mean that it will give you the separation in your first relationship or in the second relationship. No. Your DARAKARKA, that is your spouse, your partner, will be the person who will be giving you separation, who will be acting as a knife to cut out those bad memories from your mind, from your this personality, your bad personality, the bad pockets of your personality. Whatever burden you have, it will be decluttered by a spouse. Moreover, this Ashwini nakshatra fall in the Aries sign, so Mars also becomes an important. So Martian aspect also will be present in your spouse. So yes, I can say that your spouse can be a bit aggressive. They can be aggressive, and the aggressiveness will be reflected in their upfront nature, in their leadership skills. They would want to lead. They would want to charge always. They would want to do everything with zeal and with utmost energy. They would want to not beat around the bush. Just they are the person who would always tell everyone, just come to the point. What is your point? What you are talking about? I want to know the main crux of this whole conversation. This is what your spouse can be. Like, they would want to summarize everything every time. Now, it would also depend which planet is your DARAKARKA and in what house this DARAKARKA is sitting. Otherwise, yes, you will see prominent placement of Mars and Ketu in the chart of your spouse, maybe in the D1 or in the D9. But Mars and Ketu's energy in conjunction will be present. Either they can be in trine, they can be in conjunction, but in some way, the energy of Mars and Ketu will be present in the chart of your spouse. So this is a kind of reverse mapping which I use in my astrological consultations. If I see a prominent placement, like for example someone Saturn and Ketu is together either in the D1 or in the D9, I surely know that their spouse would have Anuradha nakshatra characteristics with this particular thing, but that is a different thing. This is for the people who are practicing astrology on daily basis. But yes, Ashwini Nakshatra is something which gives out Mars and Ketu's energy in combination. Also, your spouse would be the person, your partner would be the person who would initiate this relationship, because they are having that Martian energy in them. So maybe they will be coming to you with the proposal or something. That sort of a thing will definitely happen. Now let's move forward and let's understand about the DARAKARKA placed in the Bharni Nakshatra. Now if you have your DARAKARKA placed in the Bharni Nakshatra, what it can show is that your spouse would be someone who would be relating to death, rebirth, crisis, transformation kind of scenarios. So maybe they are working in some kind of emergency environments. Maybe they are a firefighter, or they are someone working in psychiatry or something like that. So death and rebirth scenarios will be present. Your relationship will also be a roller coaster ride with this DARAKARKA placed in the Bharni Nakshatra. It will go up, it will go down, and vice versa. So this thing will always be present, and it will be a prominent kind of structure. It will be a prominent kind of theme in your married life. You might also find that your partner and you are sitting on the extremes, that you are on this extreme and he or she is on that extreme. So this DARAKARKA in the Bharni creates a complete contrast in the relationship. So extremity will always be seen in your partnership. The other thing is that with this DARAKARKA in the Bharni Nakshatra, what one can also see that your relationship and your married life will be really very fulfilled from the sexual perspective. That you will not feel it is vapid, or it is that kind of a dry state in the sexual matters. You both will be sexually compatible also, because Bharni is a sexual nakshatra. The other thing is that because of the Venus's this rulership, all of these kind of energies are being there in your spouse, in your partner. The other thing is that because of the fact that Mars is also the ruler, the sign ruler, Bharni is falling in the Aries sign, so Mars becomes the ruler. So Mars gives this kind of an acting tendency. Like you can see that the other two nakshatra, which are Ashlesha and Jyeshtha, which are sexual nakshatra, but they are more of an inactive state, because their rulers are not having that Martian energy which Bharni is associating with. It is associating with planet Mars. So why is it becoming the most sexual nakshatra of the zodiac belt? It is because of the fact energies are also present there, but they are being also implemented with the energy of the Mars. So that is why the implementation of everything on that note in a partnership will be completely present in your partnership. It will be a very colorful married life with that perspective specifically. So Bharni is a good nakshatra if your spouse or you are relating to it professionally. Maybe you are an astrologer or a doctor or someone working in an emergency setting. So yes, you are definitely somehow fulfilling the negative karakas of the Bharni. But if not, so yes, as I have told you, the roller coaster ride can be present, but it can be mitigated with other factors too, like involving yourself in astrology or watching these kind of transformative stories together as a couple, maybe in movies or some dramas or documentaries. That could be a remedy sort of a thing. But yes, DARAKARKA in the Bharni nakshatra is not a very bad placement. It can be manifested into something good, because transformation is something which is present, which is always attached with the Bharni nakshatra. So yes, transformation can give you positive results too. Now let's move forward and let's understand the DARAKARKA placed in the Krittika nakshatra. So when your DARAKARKA is placed in the Krittika nakshatra, what you will see is that your spouse is having cutting through illusions kind of a personality. He or she speaks to the point always. They are the people who are never telling someone a lie. So they are in some way faulting in the art of deceit. They cannot deceive anyone with this particular placement. So what makes them is a beautiful soul. But they are a beautiful soul, but it is very difficult for others to understand. Why? Because of their sharpness in tone and their stone exterior. People perceive them to be mannerless, but they are not so. So maybe your spouse is someone about whom you will listen from your friends that he or she is very mannerless and they are very rude, they talk to people like this and that, but it is not so. It is their quality, it is their plus point, because Krittika nakshatra is the is known for deliberately telling you the truth without any sugar coating. So this is a prominent trait which will be seen in your spouse. The other thing is that the Krittika nakshatra is also a nurturing kind of a nakshatra. So your spouse is someone who wants to nurture you, who would want to nurture you and their family, and they can go to any lengths to either protect you from their family or from their family from you too. So for them, it's about balancing out that I am the person who is in love with this particular person and I will not leave him or her, whatever you all say. But if they encounter someone who romantically is involved with them but is not a good person, so he or she is saying that you will have to leave your family, so they will also be the person with this decay in the Krittika nakshatra. For them, family is really something important. So they would say that no, I cannot leave my family for you. I ensure you that your dignity will not be compromised in this relationship, and my family members would duly respect you, but you'll have to come into my family and you'll have to accept them as my family. So this is something which you will prominently see in your spouse. So they are having this fighter spirit, this warrior spirit with this Krittika nakshatra. The other thing is they have an stern this exterior. They don't want to show emotions rapidly. They are someone who wants to display emotions in a very closed environment. But somehow, if time arrives, if they are to exert any of the emotions, what they'll do is they would put a very mature front in others. Nakshatra ruler is sun. So what they would want is spotlight in the relationship. They would want to lead the relationship. They would want to be the protector and the leader in the relationship. So maybe it can cause conflicts in your relationship in some manner if you have a very well placed sun. The Mars part of this nakshatra is more towards having a warrior spirit and being upfront and dealing with everything as a king warrior, that sort of a personality. And the Taurus part of this nakshatra is more towards making family, making hoarding wealth, having those qualities of warrior to build security for the family, build security for the relatives, build financial security for everyone. So the Venus, Taurus part is relating with Sun with Venus. So the Sun is more towards making creative beauty. They are towards then making a comfort environment for everyone so that everyone could enjoy and everyone could live their life. And they doing this as a leader. They would want to ensure that everyone is happy and prosperous and comfortable. So this is how you decode DARAKARKA in Krittika nakshatra. Now let's move forward and let's understand the placement of the DARAKARKA in the Rohini nakshatra. Now when you have your DARAKARKA placed in the Rohini nakshatra, what you will see is that your partner is very materialistic. He is very romantic or she is very romantic. Your spouse here is very grounded, stable, and they want to build a comfortable life together. The other thing is that the spouse's behavior here are involved in all the kind of sensory pleasures. Rohini is that nakshatra. They want material security. They want the family they marry into, basically the event of marriage, to be a carrier of prosperity. You see, because the cart is something symbol of Rohini nakshatra. Your partner would be someone loving art, luxuries, and all of these sensory pleasures, and he will be romantic, stable, as I have already said. The other thing is that the married life here indicates that it will be fulfilled, it will be a prosperous married life. Rohini nakshatra gives a person this kind of expansion in family. So you see, expansion, what kind of expansion it can be? That this building progeny is something which will be seen. The only potential challenge here could be that your partner can be stubborn. He could be resisting change. You don't want to disturb their comfort zone in any way possible. Nakshatra ruler is moon here, and moon brings in emotionality and creative arts and the nurturing, caring sort of a personality. It brings out all of those karakas. So yes, your spouse could be someone emotional and deeply attached to you in this marriage setup. And the sign ruler is Venus. So here what it shows is that it is more of a making stability and resourcefulness, sensual and productive. How can you people together make this union productive is the aim of this particular marriage. So in overall, the theme is very benefic, because both the rulers are of benefic nature, moon and Venus. And if your Darakaraka is not a very malefic planet like Rahu or Saturn, so yes, it promises a good married life with this particular placement of the Darakaraka in the Rohini Nakshatra. Let's move forward and let's understand about Mrigasira Nakshatra. So when your Darakaraka is placed in the Mrigasira Nakshatra, your partner is someone very humorous kind of a personality. They are in search of something. They are very curious and they want to know new things. They are always asking some questions, even if they are like adult. They are interested in everything in this world and they want to know how things work. So it is very a kind of a youthful nakshatra, and your partner is also a youthful personality. Your partner could be someone of a very great conversationalist, or he or she can be a good storyteller. They are humorous and they want to explore the experiences, the world, even when they hit the older ages. So it makes them a very light-hearted personality with this particular placement of your this Darakaraka in the Mrigasira Nakshatra. Yes, some of the attributes might change if certain planets are your Darakarak, but overall this youthful personality will be present there. The only potential here with the Darakaraka can be that the person, your spouse, is someone too fickle-minded and they are very restless and they are not getting onto a decision very quickly, and they change the decisions quickly and they are not able to decide. Indecisiveness is something also of a potential which can be there in the married life, which can be seen from your partner's side. The other thing is that the ruler of the nakshatra is Mars, so it gives them energy of to find the answers to the questions. It gives them that energy to behave. That is why they are behaving in this youthful manner. Restlessness, they have this restlessness in them. Why? Because they are full of energy. You will feel that they are full of energy and their mind never shut down. Even when they are sleeping, they would be talking about something very serious, not mundane. Like it's not an everyday talk for them. The Venus part, meaning Taurus part of the nakshatra, is more towards exploring the tangible systems or sensory pleasures. Like it's sensory pleasures versus intellectual and curiosity. The more Gemini part is more towards the curiosity, and their brain will have that particular research thing, that I have to know this, I have to exploration thing would be present in the intelligence, in the intellect. But in the Taurus part, it would be more relating towards the productive outputs, or how to they would be the person who would be searching out vacation plans even when they are sitting idle, or they would be searching out good dining outlets in your city. So this is what Mrigasira represents. They don't want to sit idle. They want to constantly do something. What is that thing? That would be depending on the Taurus part or the Gemini part, on the planet itself, which is the Darakaraka. But in overall, this partner, the one word if we have to associate with them would be youthfulness, and which is very good for a married life. Now let's move forward and let's understand Darakaraka placed in the Ardra Nakshatra. Now when you have Darakaraka placed in the Ardra Nakshatra, what you will see is that your relationship is involving towards breaking down the old systems and generating the new ones. And your relationship go through storms. Why storms? Because the ruler of the nakshatra is Rahu. And the sign in which the Ardra Nakshatra falls, the ruler is Mercury, the Gemini sign it is. So what it represents is that the storms are something, a heavy event is waiting for you in the relationship. Now why is it happening? It is because of the fact that the Rahu's rulership in the Ardra Nakshatra give unconventional themes, out of the box themes, modern themes to your relationship. So that means that whatever transformation you people are going through, whatever old systems you are revoking, you are rebuking, and the new ones which you are installing is completely shut down of a traditional system through your marriage. So this can mean that whatever, this does not mean that you are the person breaking the boundaries, traditional boundaries. Your spouse is the person breaking the boundaries. Like your relationship with your spouse is not allowed by their family, not yours. Your family is not in focus now. Your spouse's family is something which is in focus right now. So this can mean that your spouse is making a relationship with you and they are completely ignoring it, and they are someone completely going against the boundaries, against the tradition. Why? Because of the fact that they believe the relationship is very important to them. Because Mercury is also the ruler and it impacts this nakshatra, what you can see is that intellectual, thinking and logical reasoning will be attached to everything. Like spouse would be saying all of these things, that I want to marry him or her, you, basically they are referring to you in the sentence, that I want to marry him or her no matter what happens, no matter what my religion allows it or not, no matter what are the societal norms or not. And this can actually create sometimes overthinking as a potential challenge in both of your minds, yours and your spouse, that is it correct or not, is it, are we on the right track or not. So yes, unconventional modernity and breaking the boundaries, the traditional old patterns, will be something which will be reflected in your relationship, particularly, specifically. Now if the Rahu is also impacting the 7th house, it will be enhanced. Like King Akbar, he had Rahu in his 7th house, although it was not in the Ardra Nakshatra, but Rahu sitting in the 7th house in the sign of Aquarius, he was a Leo rising. So what does it represent is that he made an alliance with the Rajputs. It was a policy, although it was a policy, but the marriage alliance in itself was very unconventional and breaking the old boundaries. It never happened before in India, you see. So this is what is represented by Rahu. Both of your families will be happening for the first time in their life. So that is why it will not be acceptable. But this represents that yes, your partner has a sheer commitment, and if you both are committed towards each other, no one can do anything. So this is what DARAKARKA placed in the Ardra Nakshatra represents. It can also represent that your spouse is someone working in the crisis situation or emergency situations, or he or she is dealing with demolishing something old and building new, in that particular place. Now if his or her profession is related with that particular thing, with the Ardra Nakshatra characteristics, then the unconventional theme in your partnership will be mitigated. But if it is not represented there in your career front, in your professional front, yes, then the unconventional and untraditional things will be definitely present in your partnership with this placement of the DARAKARKA in the Ardra Nakshatra. Let's move forward. Let's understand the placement of the DARAKARKA in the Punarvasu Nakshatra. Now when you have DARAKARKA placed in the Punarvasu Nakshatra, what your partner would be like, he or she would be very nurturing, caring, supportive, and home will be of great importance to them. The other thing is that your spouse would be something of a second chance in your life. You would feel that they are a second chance in your life. They becomes your support system. They always are someone who you can rely on. They are your support system, the strongest support system with this DARAKARKA in the Punarvasu Nakshatra. The other thing is that your spouse can help you in your growth. They would be there always standing for you in order to grow and grow more. The other thing is, with this decay in Punarvasu Nakshatra, you can also see that sometime it happens that they are a benevolent kind of a personality. They are too sweet, and sometimes they overrule your own mistakes. And that is why it's their nature of extreme benevolence and, you know, and supportive nature can be challenging, and it can portray potential challenges in your life. As I've said, your partner has deep connection towards family and family orientation. So what they would want is to start a family with you and take care of that family with you. It will piss them off if you say no to this demand of theirs. The other thing is that the nakshatra ruler is Jupiter, and Jupiter provides that your partner is someone, a righteous person, and he or she is the follower of dharma. They want to just do the right thing and just live a comfortable life. This is what they believe in. So it is really a very good kind of a disposition they have. Because Jupiter is ruling this nakshatra, it can also be suggested that in some way they are your teacher, and they are putting this guidance, this light in your life. The Gemini part of the nakshatra is more towards compatibility and adaptability and adjusting nature, which your partner will be having. They might have some kind of a Jupiterian values in them, but that would be slowed down in the Gemini part. It would be more enhanced in the Cancer part. So in the Cancer part of the sign of the nakshatra is where your spouse would be an emotional sanctuary, a home which you feel that you can always return back to. This is what your DARAKARKA and your married life will produce. It is a great benevolent placement, and it really promises this particular happy married life when your DARAKARKA is placed in the Punarvasu nakshatra, because Punarvasu nakshatra in itself is somehow relating to achieving the target, and what target are being achieved is relating to the Cancer sign and to the Gemini sign. So the Cancer sign is more towards prosperity, stability, home, security. For the Gemini sign, it's more towards adaptability, communication, intelligence, intellect. So you will have to judge it in that manner. The DARAKARKA planet, whatever the planet is, your DARAKARKA will also play a major role, but in the basic theme will remain same. Now let's move forward and let's understand the DARAKARKA placed in the Pushya nakshatra. When DARAKARKA is placed in the Pushya nakshatra, it is really most of the benefic placements for the DARAKARKA. Why? Because your DARAKARKA, your spouse, becomes a very kind, gentle person. They are someone of a very gentle disposition. They are someone who would want to cherish the family bond. They are someone who want to cherish the family bond, and their values are very traditional. So you see, they are the people, they can take care of the responsibility of the married life very easily, in a very good manner, in a very good sense, with this placement. The only potential challenge here in the married life could be that they can be sometimes overly protective with the married life and with the marriage responsibilities, and they would be extremely attached to their traditional values. This can only be the challenge if you are of a very modern nature. So this contrast will be something which you'll feel. Because the nakshatra lord is Saturn, Saturn provides unwavering loyalty from your spouse. Your spouse would be someone extremely loyal, nurturing, caring, structurizing personality. They would be someone, if they had a past, on the first meeting they would tell you each and everything, and they would expect similar out of you. It can be a potential challenge if you are not that kind of a personality. Your spouse is someone very loyal, stable, and he or she is someone who can provide a very stable life, a stable married life with this placement. The other thing is, the moon is the sign ruler of this nakshatra. So what it can show is that the nurturing, caring and emotional security is also attached with this personality. So your spouse is very emotional. Marriage for them is really a very institution of very importance. It cannot be broken easily. This is what they believe. with this Darakarka and the Pushya Nakshatra. So it is really a benefic placement for marriage perspective, because the Saturn and Moon, they both are pouring in their kind of qualities which are necessary for a married life, for a good married life. So this is really a good placement of the Darakarka in the Pushya Nakshatra. Everything which someone can expect from their spouse are present in your spouse. So this is a kind of a blessing you have from the universe. So let's move forward and let's understand Darakarka placed in the Ashlesha Nakshatra. The Darakarka is placed in the Ashlesha Nakshatra. What you will see is that in some way your partner is secretive. He or she is someone not very outspoken. He behaves like a psychic, and they are actually a psychic. They are actually a manipulator. They always know from the starting, from the first meeting, what you want, what is there in your mind. You are not in need of speaking it out to them, so to make them understand. This is not the case with your spouse. Your spouse is someone more of a person who is reflecting on their inner feelings rather than projecting it outwards. They would not have a social media account. They would not be comfortable with sharing their pictures online very quickly, very easily. They are this kind of a personality. They want to be drawn inward. For them, marriage is really a private matter. So maybe with this particular placement, it suggests that you cannot have an arranged marriage. And if it will be arranged, you will see a phase of dating, like a huge phase of dating first, and then you people are going into marriage setup. This is something which you will see with this particular placement. The other thing is that because of the fact that Mercury is the ruler of the Ashlesha Nakshatra, what you will see is that they will be at higher level on intellectual basis from you. They would be someone more of a intelligent person than you. They can also do emotional manipulation to you. So you see, this is a very soft placement actually. If your Darakarka is in some way a malefic planet, this particular placement can result in some kind of a challenge in your life. It will be completely dependent on the fact how strong is your Lagna, how strong is your Atma Karaka. Are you able to compete with that manipulation or not? Are you able to compete with that intellect or not? Are you able to are you compatible with that psychic tendencies your spouse possesses or not? These are the questions. So this is actually a placement which I cannot say about much, because it will differ. This is really a subjective and deep placement. This has to be analyzed specifically. So yes, I can tell you that there are these manipulations, secretiveness, and the psychic abilities which your partner has. They know what is going in their mind, and they know when you will be asking for what. But is it in the good terms or bad? That is for you to judge in your D1 chart and through your D9 chart. Now let's move forward and let's understand the placement of the Darakarka in Magha Nakshatra. Now when your Darakarka is placed in the Magha Nakshatra, what you will see is that your spouse is someone who wants respect, authority, and all of the king-like qualities from this marriage. So this does not mean that he wants to marry into something of a regal family. But what he wants is that you as a spouse honor him or her. You are treating him or her like a king in this marriage. So basically he will be the person taking care of all the leadership qualities, of all the responsibilities in this marriage. They are the people who want to take care of everything. Like, they believe that marriage is their territory and it is their domain to make decisions, to take up the responsibility, to deal with the problems, and you are like a subject. You are the naive person in the relationship. So it means that your partner would be very much protective. The thing is that your partner can also come from a very honored family. His family or her family is very respected. Now this respect which is attached to their family can be small, like maybe the area they live in, the society they live in, everyone in that society respects them a lot, or they are originally, tying their name to some kind of a major attribute. Maybe they are doctors, engineers, or maybe they are successful people or successful businessman, something like that, basically. So this honoring, this respect is something which the spouse is bringing in your life. The ruler of the nakshatra is Ketu. So what this Ketu represents is not detachment. This does not mean that your marriage will be detached and something like that. What your spouse would be able to make you understand is that they will crush your ego. Now, this crushing of ego is, will it be done in a positive way or in the negative way? That will depend on the DARAKARKA planet itself. But they will be the catalyst of crushing your ego and making you more responsible, so that you can take care of the authorities you'll wield in future, is something which is represented with this particular placement. So Ketu here does not bring detachment in the relationship or in the marriage. It brings separation from ego specifically. Why? Because the Magha nakshatra is falling in Leo sign, and Leo is ruled by Sun. Sun represents our ego. The most negative karaka of Sun is ego, not authority, pride, or something like that. It is not falling in any Venus ruled sign. You see, so it is not giving separation in relationships, but with your own self, hyper belief on yourself. This is what, the superiority complex you have will be taken down by your spouse. Now, is it there or not? Like the superiority complex, is it present in you or not? That is also a question. So you see, this is all the Ketu nakshatra, whenever the Darakaraka is placed in any of the Ketu's nakshatra, Ashwini, Moola, or Magha, it becomes very tricky, because the Ketu's position will tell you a lot in this particular matter, that what kind of crushing the ego or what kind of reality check your spouse would be giving you with this particular placement of the Darakaraka. But your spouse is someone of a more mature nature. He is more responsible, they are more responsible, and they are the people who would take on responsibilities easily because they have done it, and they are coming from a respected family, and they are not the person who had all the comfort of their life, and then they are doing all of these they are enjoying all of these pleasures, and then they are meeting you. This is not so. They know the stark reality, and they also, they are actually the people who are having the understanding of both the extremes. This is what is represented with Magha and your Darakaraka placed in this nakshatra represents this as a major characteristic of the personality of your spouse. So you see, this can be a very good match if you are someone who can meet with their requirements, with their possibilities, with their personality, with their attributes. And if not, yes, the differences will be there, because it is Ketu which we are talking about. Now let's move forward and let's understand the placement of the Darakaraka in PurvaPhalguni nakshatra. Now, if you have your Darakaraka placed in the PurvaPhalguni nakshatra of Venus, what you will see is that your spouse is someone who is very interested in all the creativity of the world, and he or she wants to engage in recreational activities. They want to actually make the marriage very happening. So this would be the person of a very modern mindset. He or she will be not marrying you because of the fact that they want to make a family and they want to bear children with you, but their aim would be that I want to be engaged with someone, I want to be with someone, and my life, I want to see the world with my life partner. You see, they would be more interested in creativity, art, luxury, travel, and all of these things. Like, they are more in a party mode. With this Darakaraka in the PurvaPhalguni nakshatra, they are in the party mode. They want to celebrate everything, and they want to celebrate this marriage as in every way possible with this particular thing, because it is a Venus ruled nakshatra, and it is the second nakshatra which is ruled by Venus. So the Venusian qualities are very much extremely enhanced here, and they are scattered. So you see, they don't understand why the fact people are marrying just because of the fact that they want to be settled in their life. They are the people who believe that the life starts after you are holding someone's hand. This is what is their belief is with this placement. The other thing is that because of the fact that this PurvaPhalguni Nakshatra falls in the Leo sign, and Leo is also, although it is a sun ruled sign, but sun also represents, and Leo also represents creativity and passion, your this intellect towards understanding the things. So what it can represent is that the intellect about marriage and all of these relationship is not common. It is more on the creative side, that they believe that having children and walking the traditional path of marriage, which is being set by the society, is very mundane and boring. What I would want to do is I want to enjoy the life with my partner. So it really you will have a very sweet kind of a personality of your spouse with this particular placement. Although the Venus's placement in your D1 chart, D9 chart, Sun's placement will also matter a lot. The DK planet, the Darakarka planet particularly will matter a lot. But yes, in the basic terms, this will be the kind of personality you will be seeing in your spouse. Now let's move forward and let's understand Darakarka placed in UttaraPhalguni Nakshatra. So when your Darakarka is placed in the Nakshatra of Sun, UttaraPhalguni, and it is a very important nakshatra. Why? Because this is the only nakshatra which is being ruled by Sun and is falling. Some part of it is falling in the Leo sign, but some is falling in the Virgo. And Virgo is Mercury. The Virgo's ruler is Mercury, and Mercury is also a sun-friendly person, a sun-friendly planet. So you see, the dominance of Sun extremely overshadows the marriage. So if your Sun is not very well placed, it is something, it is not very well placed in the D1 or the D9. If the Darakarka is Saturn or Rahu or some planet like, some other malefic planet, what it can show is that maybe you are the people who are having, with marriage, there is not that kind of lack in the prosperity which is being made in your life. Prosperity is there in your life, and you feel that you are reaping the results of the marriage materialistically only. Emotional value is absent in the marriage because the Sun can be reflected in negative ways. You see, the people who marry into really affluent families, but they are not happy. This is the exact placement which I am talking about. Darakarka placed in UttaraPhalguni Nakshatra. You have all the riches of the world, but there is something emotional security which you cannot achieve. The other thing is that actually why am I saying this? It is, it is like balancing an apple on a knife. This is what the placement is like. And the specific analysis is extremely required with this particular placement. Why? Because what you'll see is that if the Sun's placement is supporting your chart, all of these things will turn out positive. And if not, then all of these things can turn out negative. Let's say if your Darakarka is placed in the Virgo part of the UttaraPhalguni Nakshatra, particularly what you will see is that either your spouse is someone who is taking care of you a lot, like he is or she is the person who is taking care of your daily routines and details in the marriage, that these are the things which you like and these are the things which you don't like, and I have taken care of all of those things. But this nature, this behavior can also be converted into overprotective kind of an obsession. So this is what the problem is. So the specific analysis is very important. Check where your Mercury is placed. Check where your Sun is placed in the D9, in the D1, and they together will make this particular placement complete. Darakarka placed in UttaraPhalguni, I cannot say specifically where your married life will go towards, in what direction. So let's move forward and let's understand the placement of the Darakarka in Hasta Nakshatra. Now when your Darakarka is placed in the Hasta Nakshatra, what you will see is that your partner is someone who is very skillful, and they have this skill in their hands, or they can also have this skill in their mind. So you see, because of the fact that the nakshatra is ruled by moon, so yes, mind, emotions is also attached here. So somehow they are skillful, and in what ways it will be manifested is that maybe you two are an arranged match, but you as a couple would be able to solve every problem in your life. You people will steer through everything. And because the Hasta Nakshatra falls in the Virgo sign ruled by Mercury, so intellect and intelligence is also involved. So when you two are together, you two can also make a good team. So the Darakarka here in this Hasta Nakshatra shows that you people are someone who are emotionally connected, and you also understand each other's intellect and practical emotions. The problems you have are understood by your spouse, and the problems of your spouse are understood by you. So you see, this is a very good understanding between you. And Darakarka planet in the Hasta Nakshatra shows this, that your partner is a very understanding kind of a personality. He's ready to make this team. He looks forward to marrying you and enjoying the life with you. Because of the fact that he or she is having a good skill, they would want to share this skill with you as well, so that you both can work in the same direction, or maybe you can help them in some way. So you see, maybe if they are in a business, they would invite you to help them in their business or help them in their skill somehow. So this is what is being represented with the Darakarka in the Hasta Nakshatra. Moon and Mercury, both are benefics, and it gives a very benefic kind of a marriage with this particular placement. Now, will the marriage will face any problems? So potential challenges will be seen with the Darakarka planet, where it is sitting in the D9, your 7th lord, Mercury, Moon, and all of these things as total. But in the basic sense, yes, this gives a good benefic kind of a married life. So let's move forward and let's understand the placement of the Darakarka in Chitra Nakshatra. So when your Darakarka is in the Chitra Nakshatra, it is about manifesting and investing your energy. Your spouse is all about investing their energy in some kind of cultivation. So maybe at the start of the marriage, you people do not possess that particular thing which they are aiming at, but with time, you gradually move on with that kind of an attribute or quality in both of yourselves. So this is what is represented with the DK in Chitra Nakshatra. It also represents that in some way, your partner loves artistic beauties, your partner loves artists, beauty, balancing, harmony, and all the materialistic things and pleasures in the world. But this will only be present if your Darakarka is sitting in the Libra sign. The Virgo part of the nakshatra is more towards managing, detail orienting, working on the details and daily routines, making and structurizing the daily routine. So maybe your partner is someone who, if in the Virgo part, the Chitra nakshatra will cultivate. If in the Virgo part, the Chitra nakshatra will cultivate all the qualities of daily routine, tasks, and all of these things. And if in the Libra sign, it will be more inclined towards the materialistic prospects of the marriage. So the only thing which I would want to share with you all is that with this nakshatra, actually, you should double check the person you are marrying, because Chitra nakshatra, it has tendencies of giving illusions, and there is an exterior which can be faked sometimes, and then there is this interior which is true. So whenever you are marrying someone, just for the peace of your mind, ask them who their friends are, who they are sitting with, what is their daily routine like, and all of these details which are very basic to everyone. And I believe if someone is really interested in someone for marrying and just spending their life together, they would not mind answering these all questions. So you see, the illusion which Chitra portrays should be always checked, because the Rahu's dominance is not present here, because Chitra nakshatra is ruled by Mars, is falling in Virgo and Libra sign. So why am I saying about illusion? Because it is the preceding nakshatra of Swati nakshatra. You see, so that is the Swati nakshatra, is the nakshatra ruled by Rahu. And I want you to clarify everything before marriage, because of the fact that the illusions start building in the Mahadasha of Mars, which is followed by Rahu. So you see, this is what I wanted to tell. Otherwise, the Darakarka planet in the nakshatra, in the Chitra nakshatra, will also say a lot of things. But for that, you will have to check your specific chart, how the Darakarka is behaving in the D1 and the D9, and all of those things. So let's move forward and let's understand the placement of the Darakarka in Swati Nakshatra. Now when you have your Darakarka placed in the Swati Nakshatra, so the first thing which it tells is that whatever your marriage will be, it will be a very karmic bond. Whatever whoever is the person you are marrying to, and whatever relationship, the kind of relationship it is really karmic, heavily karmic. The other thing is that you people, you for each other are destined by this universe. So this is for sure. Now with this destiny comes in the Rahuness. And what is the Rahuness? Rahuness is modernity, unconventional means, breaking the boundaries, tradition and all of these things. So what it will show is that your marriage will not be supported by your family. The first and the foremost thing will be this, that because of the fact that you are marrying into you are going into very unconventional sort of a marriage setup. Now it does not mean that it is because of the religious differences, it is because of the caste differences or something like that, but there would be something which will not fall in the place. And why am I saying this? That maybe you have same caste, maybe you have same religion, but this Rahu will create some kind of a hurdle in this marriage setup. And what that hurdle will be is decided where, in what house this Libra sign and this Swati Nakshatra is falling, where the decay is going in the D9 chart. All of these things will matter a lot. And why am I saying this? That maybe it is not a religious differences which are being taken into consideration here. Why? Because Swati is the second nakshatra of Rahu, and the Rahu's energy, they are more matured than Ardra here, and Swati's energies are, although they are scattered, but they are not misdirectional with this particular nakshatra, you see. So Rahu can be portraying, maybe you are marrying into a very extremely rich family than yours, so there's huge financial disparity between both of the families. And why your family is not allowing you to marry into this particular family is because of the fact that they worry that maybe you will be exploited in this family, maybe your voice will not be heard in this family, is the fact which is coming out from this particular thing. So the most important thing is that the fact that the Swati Nakshatra falls in the Libra sign, and Libra is all about balancing, harmony, diplomacy, and Rahu is not. The Rahu is actually a planet of diplomacy, but not the diplomacy which Venus seeks. So you see, this is a kind of problem which is being created with Rahu and Venus. It will give certain kind of a clash between both of the planets, both of the energies, I would say. So this Venus and Rahu will create a kind of a clash of the energies in your chart. So there would be the challenge, and the aim of this marriage would be seeking the balance in the relationship, and what kind of balance it is will be shown by the house. Now let's move forward and let's understand the placement of the Darakarka in Vishakha Nakshatra. So when you have Darakarka placed in the Vishakha Nakshatra, what it will show is that your spouse is someone very goal-oriented kind of a person. He wants to achieve things, and they are the people who are constantly moving towards achieving those goals of theirs, achieving those aims, because their life revolves around it. And actually the task in front of them is quite Herculean. It appears that it is very Herculean, but it is not. And maybe you will think at the beginning of your marriage that why is this person trying to do this kind of a task, and why is he or she aiming this particular thing, because it is completely impossible for them to achieve. But this is not the fact. They will achieve it. And you know what? The most important thing which will play out here will be deceit, which will help them. So deceit is something, and they are the master of deceit, let me tell you. So if you are not a manipulated kind of a personality, if your Scorpio sign, Jyeshtha Nakshatra, Ashlesha Nakshatra are not prominent in the D1 and the D9 charts, so maybe this marriage could represent as a power struggle, because they are the person who are master of deceit. They know where to go, what to talk, who are the people they should engage with, and you are the naive person. So you see, this is the fact. Although if you have Darakarka in the Vishakha Nakshatra, so any of your other Nakshatra, basically Ashlesha or this Jyeshtha Nakshatra or Scorpio sign, maybe Anuradha, will be filled with some prominent planets. But yes, the basic characteristic of a spouse is this, that they are the achiever. They want to achieve something which is kind of a Herculean task in front of them, and they achieve it with their sheer determination. Because of the fact that the Vishakha Nakshatra, some portion of this Nakshatra falls into the Scorpio sign. So this is where, if the Darakarka is placed particularly in the Scorpio, so this is where you see the problems, deceit, and the more cunning nature will be seen with this particular placement. But if your Darakarka is placed in more of the Libra part, so it is more about Venusian energy, characteristics, and all of those themes. They can also be a good teacher with this particular placement. They will have the mastery of the subject they are working in, and they can teach it very well. So maybe they can build their professions in teaching later on in their lives too with this particular nakshatra. If your Darakarka is placed in the Libra portion of the Vishakha nakshatra, if in the Scorpio sign, it is more towards the energy they are putting in for achieving this goal and the ways they are opting for achieving this goal. Now, are these ways, this will be subjective thing. Are these ways suiting you or not? Suiting your values and needs or not? This would be the question with this particular placement of the Darakarka in the Vishakha Nakshatra. Let's move forward and let's understand the placement of the Darakarka in Anuradha Nakshatra. So when you have your Darakarka placed in the Anuradha Nakshatra, the first thing which you will notice in your spouse is that they have this sheer dedication in the relationship. So they would be the loyal kind of people with this particular placement. Specifically, if not your Rahu is the Darakarka, then the things would change. But yes, their dedication will be there in the married life, and they would want to work with you as a team. The other thing is that they are romantic. They can be seen as a romantic kind of people, but in their heart, they will not be the expressive types. The other thing is that the Darakarka in the Anuradha Nakshatra can also suggest that maybe the person you are marrying is your friend, your previous friend, and you people came closer because of the fact that you shared either you shared a common jealousy against someone, or you are coupled up or paired up fighting this jealousy from others which was targeted towards both of you. So the jealousy portion will be there. That jealousy and this particular feeling will play a prominent role in making your relationship and building it. So Anuradha is the nakshatra which is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn gives this kind of color to the personality of your spouse, that they would be building in, they will have good social networks, they would be hardworking, they would be loyal, and they would be focusing on the atom, the structure of everything. What is the root cause? Why is this happening? All of these questions are something which you will hear from them again and again. The other thing is that the Anuradha Nakshatra falls in the Scorpio sign, and the Scorpio sign is what makes it kind of because it is ruled by Mars, the Scorpio sign is, so the energy they have, it will be totally involved in making your partnership more structurized. That maybe they are the person, if you will come back home with some upset mood, they would instantly ask you, and they would know that something is off with you, and they will know, and when they'll hear out of whatever the things happened and whatever you went through, they would instantly start working upon that let's do it, let's have a cold coffee or something like that, and make our mood more lighter. Let's watch a movie and something like that. So you see, but these episodes which will be happening in your married life will be occasional. They are not the adventurous kind of personality. They have patience, they have dedication, they have sheer commitment in them for anything they do in their life. And the party mode of theirs is only getting activated when it is needed. This is what is being shown. So you see, Anuradha is the nakshatra which actually plays out the energies of the Scorpio in a very good manner. They know the depth of the well, Scorpio, but they will be behaving as if they don't know anything. This is what makes them really special. And as I've said, a friend of yours can also be your spouse, a previous friend of yours, maybe your childhood friend or your college friend with this particular placement. But you will have to check. There are certain particular placements to completely verify it if it is happening or not. But friendship will play a major role, and jealousy, the feeling of jealousy, will also play a major role in building your relationship with your spouse. Let's understand the placement of the Darakarka in Jyeshtha nakshatra. So when you have Darakarka placed in the Jyeshtha nakshatra, what you will see is that your spouse is someone behaving as your elder sibling, and they would be someone like maybe if they are of the same age or if they're younger even, then also they will portray as if they are more mature, they know better than you, and they are the strategist in this marriage. So whatever the problem comes in this relationship, they will be the people who will be taking care of it completely, and they would be the people who would be also secretive, cunning, skillful and intelligent. So you see, you are marrying someone who is really having this kind of a personality which is invincible in all the ways. Like maybe if they are not in a very well paid job, or maybe if they are not in a very permanent kind of a job, and you marry them because of some circumstances or out of love, but still they will be the person who will ensure this, that whatever happens, they remain, you as a couple are standing through all the storms, through all the problems in your life. So they have secretiveness in them, they have skill in them, and they are very cunning. And all of these, all of these aspects of the nakshatra will be positively manifested. Why? Because the cunningness is coming from Mercury, and the nakshatra is falling in the Scorpio sign ruled by Mars. Mars is although a malefic planet, but it is portraying the qualities of attributes of warrior, implementing what skills they have, implementing the intelligence into decisions. This is what is happening. And I should tell you that Jyeshtha is a very sexual nakshatra. So you see, sexual compatibility can only be a potential challenge in this marriage of yours. If you are compatible with this person and you both are satisfying each other's needs, the marriage is invincible. It becomes invincible. No one can, no one has the position in the world to separate you both. Whatever planet you have, if you have Mars, Ketu, or if you are a Mangli, or if whatever is happening in your chart, it will not matter. But the only fact which comes here is that the sexual compatibility is very important, which should be checked and which should be this matched between both the partners. The other thing is that the elder thing which I said is because the Jyeshtha is the Sanskrit word for elder sibling, so they would be behaving as an elder sibling, and they would be more of a, let me take this decision, you don't know much about the world and I have seen more of the world than you have. All of these things are like repeated sentences which you will hear them saying, but it is actually true. They are saying correct. Why? Because other fact which is associated with this nakshatra is that it is a very royal nakshatra. Your partner will also have deep meaning and deep understanding of all the other worldly matters. And royalness is something which is they are fetching from this attribute in their personality. They understand astrology very well. They understand investigation very well. They understand artificial intelligence very well. All of these other worldly matters, philosophy, is something which is natural to them. So what you'll see is that they are the people who are guiding you, and they are actually, because they are having some kind of a royal, you see, attribute in them, royal kind of a persona. Even if they are not coming from an affluent background, still they will have this aura in them that they are behaving like royal, and it will suit their personality somehow. So you see, this is how you will have to decode the nakshatra. Jyeshtha nakshatra, it is, oh my god, it is all, it is about, it is falling in the Scorpio sign, it is ruled by Mercury, and it is all about, storms and umbrella and all of these things. This is not the fact, and this is not how you decode your planet or any other placement in any of the nakshatra. These has to be analyzed very logically. Jyeshtha nakshatra gives a different kind of a color to marriage, and this becomes a very royal kind of marriage. Also, you will see that with this particular placement, you people, you and your spouse, will always have something in secret which will only remain between you two. It will not be shared with anyone else in the world. Not with your children, not with your siblings, not with your parents, not with your relatives, anyone, not with your friends even. You people will have something which is very which is of prominence, extreme prominence, and it will be kept secret by both of you. You both will ensure to safeguard it behind a curtain. You see, this is what it is also represented. Maybe it is some sort of a recipe which you have, I don't know what it is, but yes, this is something of a secret which you will cherish till your death. You'll take it till your death, you both the partners. So this is a kind of a very intimate nakshatra Jyeshtha is, and it gives beautiful color to the marriage. So let's move forward and let's understand the placement of the DARAKARKA in Moola nakshatra. Now when you have DARAKARKA placed in the Moola nakshatra, what you will see is that your spouse is someone who will be taking care of the root and stabilizing everyone. He or she will not be the person in superficialities. They would always be a grounded kind of a personality, and they would want to root the marriage on the basic terms, on the basic values. Your relationship with them will be seen as a very sattvic kind of a relationship. You people, your couple goals would be very sattvic. You would want to express, like, you and your partner would be satisfied by watching a movie together, like sitting beside each other on the bed and reading your particular novels. This is the kind of marriage you will be having. You won't be hitting clubs or pubs late at night. This is not the marriage which you people want. The other thing is that your partner would be having the hunger of knowledge and wisdom. So if you want to marry this person, you have to develop your wisdom, and you should be wise. Because of the fact that your DARAKARKA is placed in this Moola nakshatra, in the Sagittarius sign, so Jupiter becomes important and wisdom, knowledge becomes important. So these are the people whom heart you can win by your wisdom, by your knowledge, not by the followers you have on Instagram or social media accounts, or by telling them what are the Gen Z trends following all of in the world around. This is not the person they are. They are more grounded, they are more rooted in their ways. Now I'm not saying that they are the traditional person, that will be completely different, but they are very grounded. They are at an arm's length from all the superficialities of the world. They don't want to engage into all of these things of making people jealous by their success, or updating everything on social media that they are going on vacation or they have earned this much. They are not this kind of person. They are very sattvic, and your married life will also be a very sattvic kind of a journey with this person. The other thing is that because the ruler is Ketu here, so maybe you people are worried it can give separation, but this is not the fact. The Ketu can give separation, but the separation of the Ketu is selective because it is being guided by Rahu. So Rahu's placement in the nakshatra, although Rahu will be sitting in the Taurus sign, maybe in the Rohini nakshatra, so Rahu's placement in your chart becomes very important. where this Rahu is placed, in what sign, what it is behaving, how it is behaving in the D9, because Rahu gives the order, it selects what things are to be taken into consideration, what are to be cut off, and all of these things are then cared by Ketu. So maybe the things which are being separated after you getting married to your spouse is not your marriage with that person, but other things which were necessary to bid adieu. This is what is being represented with this Darakarka placed in the Moola Nakshatra. And whenever the Ketu Nakshatra are occupied by your Darakarka, it represents, it is a karmic marriage. It is a destined marriage, a destined match which you are waiting for with this particular placement. So your partner is someone very wisdom oriented person. He is very knowledgeable, he is very sattvic, or they are very sattvic, and they are the people who are finding similar kind of basic necessity. They are finding the similar kind of sattvicness in you as a spouse of them. So this is how you will decode the Darakarka placed in the Moola Nakshatra. Let's move forward. Let's understand the placement of the Darakarka in PurvaAshadha Nakshatra. So when your Darakarka is placed in the PurvaAshadha Nakshatra, what you will see is that your spouse here becomes very materialistic. Why? Because the nakshatra is ruled by Venus, is falling in the Sagittarius sign. So Jupiter and Venus, they both are the karakas of luxury. Although the Vishakha nakshatra also carries these kind of characteristics, but you see, Vishakha is more a Jupiter dominated thing. So Jupiter values knowledge, but Venus values always materialism, material pleasures. So this materialism is something which they will be aiming at, and they want to achieve it at any cost. Now this does not mean that they are selfish or something like that, but they have their own needs. This is something which you'll have to understand. So maybe they are marrying you, they are actually valuing the wisdom, and they're seeking wisdom through materialism. This is what they are valuing in the relationship. Maybe they are marrying you with the fact that you are having this kind of materialism, this material prosperity, and if they'll marry you, the financial stability in their life will be followed by this marriage, and then is when they can go into the research, into the exploration, and into the knowledge they want to explore and take wisdom from. This is what is represented with the Darakarka in the PurvaAshadha Nakshatra. So they are someone who are preparing for a kind of a war actually. And this does not mean that it is a basic war, although it can be they can be of aggressive personality, they can be someone who are straightforward, spontaneous, but that will only be present if Mars is your Darakaraka. If not, then they are preparing for some kind of a war, but it is mental war. They have this kind of a thing in their mind that I have to achieve this, and they achieve it actually. Because UttaraAshadha and PurvaAshadha, they both of the nakshatra are actually connected with each other. The other thing is that their partner will be hiding something from you. They will be hiding something from you. This is for sure. Now, what is this hidden element? Is this positive or negative? That will be depending on your planet, on your 7th lord, on your whole chart and your D9 chart and its working. What is the element which is hidden in their personality? They are the people who will be very skillful and who are having royal kind of skill. So maybe they are, well versed in such subjects or disciplines which are only elite. Now you will wonder how they achieved this knowledge, but they achieved it somehow. And maybe this is the secretiveness they are carrying with themselves. Or there can also be some other element, but the cheating, if you are thinking of that, cannot happen, because cheating is something which will be more represented by Moon, Rahu and all of these planets, but Ketu also actually, but this particular thing that Darakarka placed in the PurvaAshadha Nakshatra is giving this kind of a indication that your partner is a cheater. This is not so. Maybe they are hiding something which they don't want to share, because of the fact that it can lower their dominance in the relationship. This is why they are hiding these things. All of these things will be present, but you have to analyze your specific chart for that. Now let's move forward and let's understand the placement of the DARAKARKA in UttaraAshadha Nakshatra. So when you have your DARAKARKA placed in the UttaraAshadha Nakshatra, what you will see is that your spouse is someone who is battle ready, who is also a noble kind of personality, who is someone, he can or she can be behaving as if they are better in the marriage than you. Because the nakshatra is ruled by sun, is falling, some portion falls in the Sagittarius sign, some portion falls in the Capricorn sign, but the sun and Jupiter thing is giving them wisdom too. So they are wisdom, they are having knowledge, they are knowledgeable, they are wise, and all of these things are present in them, and the ego is also something which they are carrying in themselves. UttaraAshadha, although it is the last nakshatra of sun, but it is carrying in itself the matured characteristics of sun. The mature characteristics of sun is the sun who is a wise old king, and he knows, or and the king knows what they are good at, what they are well versed in, and what are the things which are weaknesses of others. You see, that is why they are king, right? So this is why the Sagittarius part creates more of a person who is more dominating, in the sense that they are more knowledgeable, they have this more practical knowledge, and you are lacking this. And in the Capricorn sign is more of a competitive nature which will be present in them, because sun finds Digbal in the Capricorn sign in the 10th house. So you see, they are the people who are competitive, who are having this power struggle with you in the marriage. I cannot deny that. But all the things can be mitigated with the fact if your own lagna, if your own Atmakaraka is well placed and it is strong. If not, you can feel suffocated in the married life. But you see, the suffocation can be mitigated in the D1. Placement repeats in the D9 is where the problem can be coming from. UttaraAshadha Nakshatra, DARAKARKA or 7th Lord placed in the D9 is a problem. It not performs very well there. But in the D1, although there will be the problem, although there will be the ego battles, but they will be resolved. They can be resolved by your own demeanor, by your own knowledge, by your own aura and personality. This is the crux of the whole situation. Although it is a sexual nakshatra, although it is a neutrally sexual nakshatra, not heavily, but that is a secondary portion, that is a secondary thing to it. Maybe I'll cover it in a different video. For this video, the ego battles, the sun's characteristics will be dominating, and you will have to check where your Atmakaraka, where your Lagna Lord is, to analyze the whole functioning of your married life. Let's move forward. Let's understand the placement of the DARAKARKA in Shravana Nakshatra. Now when you have your DARAKARKA in Shravana Nakshatra, what you will see is that your partner is a good listener. They are seeking knowledge from you. This is the last nakshatra of moon, so the moon's characteristics are mature here. Although they will have this emotional demeanor to their personality, they will be very emotionally present in the this marriage, but the instability moon causes are not seen in this nakshatra. They are more seen in the Rohini nakshatra, which is the first nakshatra of moon. So basically your partner is someone who is a good listener, who is a very understanding and a good person. You can actually blindly believe on this person. The Shravana nakshatra is something of a true learner, and it is really a very sattvic nakshatra, because of the fact that the Shravana nakshatra is having the mature abilities of the moon, and the moon is a benefic planet, the most benefic planet in the solar system. So it represents the fact that your person, your spouse would be someone, they will not have any kind of ill habit in their personality. Even if they had, post marriage, all of these things will be mitigated. They will be ending completely actually. They are the people who are hardworking. They are the people who are committed. They are the people who are loyal. They are the people who are responsible. They are the people who want to organize this institution of marriage. They want to organize it well so that you and your children together are feeling comfortable at your home. They want to ensure this comfortable nature by their hard work. So you see, this suggests that your Darakarka, your spouse is someone who is very responsible, and they are the perfect person to marry with actually. After Punarvasu, the people who can be the most eligible people to marry are these people, like your spouse, because they are having the moon qualities also, the mature moon qualities also, and Saturn's qualities also. So they have this kind of a patience which is needed to foster a family. They have this kind of a patience so that they could nurture a family, because nurturing is important. Saturn is only having patience, but the nurturing and the comfortable qualities are being given by moon. So yes, this is something which is represented by this fact. The other thing is that your partner would always respect your boundaries, would always respect you as a person, even if they are earning more, even if they are having more knowledge, even if they are wiser than you. Then also they would be respecting you a lot, and they would be someone who would want to get your opinion on something. So you see, inclusivity is something which they want to build. They can be really a good father, a good husband, a good wife, a good mother with this placement, and they are really the people who should marry in the world. Actually, they are the only people who are eligible to marry in the world, because with marriage comes responsibility, and they can fulfill it with utmost responsibility and dedication. So it shows and indicates that you will have a very benefit kind of a marriage, and all of these things will remain till the fact any malefic planet is not involved in all of these things. So Darakarka is Venus, Jupiter, Moon, or some Mercury. Other than that, other than these planets, the situation can be disbalanced in some ways. But for that, we'll have to check your whole chart, where your Saturn is placed, where your Moon is placed, where your Atmakarika is placed in one nakshatra. All of these things will have to be seen. But in the most basic terms, yes, it will be a more very benefit and a good quality married life which you will see with this Darakarika placed in the Shravana nakshatra. Let's move forward and let's understand the placement of the Darakarika in Dhanishtha nakshatra. So when you have Darakarika in the Dhanishtha nakshatra, what it shows is that your spouse is very wealthy, and they want to have all the pleasures of the life with you. They want to experience all the pleasures of the life with you. They want to engage in the recreational activities, in the creative arts, in rhythm, and they can also be a good singer or a good instrumentalist of some kind, and most probably a percussionist with this particular placement of the Darakarika in the Dhanishtha nakshatra. But more importantly, they would be the person who is involved. They will be investing their energy in all kind of creative activities. The energy will not be destructive. Why? Because it is the last nakshatra of Mars. All the Martian qualities are mature here. So what you will see is that they are more towards building something and creating something, and starting something new. So this is why the Dhanishtha nakshatra represents all the music in the world, rhythm in the world, and instruments in the world, partying and dancing, and all of these creative activities are seen from this particular Dhanishtha nakshatra. The other thing is that Dhan is something which is associated with this nakshatra, and Dhan means wealth. So this is also a fact that in some way they are making wealth, and they are making wealth, either they are inheriting it or they are making it through all of these recreational and creative activities which they are pursuing in their life. So the only potential challenge which you can see in your married life can be the time management, because they can be the people who are into their work, into their profession so much that they are not able to give time to the family, and that is what is creating problem in your married life. So although they are having good organizational skills, and they are hardworking, and they are committed also, but the balancing is something which they need to learn, and with this placement of the Darakarika in the Dhanishtha nakshatra. Now let's move forward and let's understand the placement of the Darakarika in Shatbhisha nakshatra. Now when you have Darakarika placed in the Shatbhisha nakshatra, what you will see is that your partner is someone of a transformative personality he or she will be having. You will not be able to predict what they are thinking, what they are aiming at, what they are going for, what they are going behind, all of these things will not be able to, you will not be able to comprehend it. The other thing is that your spouse is someone who would want freedom and personal space too much. This would be, because Rahu, the Shatbhisha nakshatra is the last nakshatra of Rahu, and the Rahu's energy are getting matured here. So now Rahu does not want to intermingle. Rahu wants freedom to intermingle when it wants and when it doesn't want. So this is what is the complex here. Somewhere Rahu's maturity is making a person wise in their own way. They would be demanding freedom and their personal space from you as a spouse. And in the starting, you won't be able to understand why are they saying it, why are they behaving like that. Am I the wrong person they married to, or are they thinking this kind of a thing in their mind? But this is not so. It is their personality which is asking this from you. The other thing is that the DARAKARKA in the Shatbhisha nakshatra states, and it indicates that you people are having a very unconventional and different kind of an personal approach in your marriage, which cannot be comprehended by others. Like, people cannot understand why you people are living together. If you are living in such a way, maybe you are coming back from your office at 6 p.m. and you are having all the dinner and you are going to bed till 7 p.m. and your spouse is coming late till 9 p.m. and he is having all of these things, and he is the one who is making his own dinner, and then he is going to bed till 11 p.m. and your morning routine starts from 4 a.m. His morning routine starts from maybe 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. and 8 a.m. You people are not meeting even when you are living in the same house. So this kind of a structure, it can be seen. I'm not saying this is something which I explained, it will be particularly seen in your married life. This is some unconventional type of a routine which you will be witnessing in your married life, and it will not be comprehended. People will not be able to understand why you people are having it. But as a matter of fact, you and your spouse are very comfortable in this approach, are very comfortable in this system. You people are when you are going or attending parties together, you people are going like a normal couple. It is not looking like you are in some kind of a dispute or something like that. This is not something which is happening. You see, the unconventional and non-traditional ways will be manifested in this kind of a setup, in this kind of a marriage setup. Maybe you people are living in the same city and you people are living in the different corners of the city, and you both are renting out your separate homes. Now people will not be able to understand why you people are doing it. You can rent out a particular one home in the middle of the city so that it is convenient to both of you, but you people are not doing this. So this is a kind of thing which will be seen in your married life. Your spouse is someone very secretive. He or she can have transformations in their personality. Definitely they will have this, and they are mature Rahu. This is the mature Rahu which you are dealing with. And why am I telling only about Rahu? Because the Shatbhisha nakshatra is falling in the Aquarius sign. Although the Aquarius sign is the Mool Trikon sign of Saturn, but it is also ruled, it is co-ruled by Rahu. So Rahu's dominance is more here. And you see, specifically, if you see Rahu getting more stronger in your chart, so Rahu will be leading your married life. If you see Saturn beating Rahu in the D1 and the D9, you see, I have used the beating term. The Saturn will be required to win the war. Then is when Saturn will be dominating it. It will be more of an organizational kind of a structure. You people are working because of the fact that you people are working for a goal of yours, which you both are aiming at together as a team. That is why you are in such kind of a truce, which will be seen by the people from the outer world. But this is not a truce, this is not a negotiation which you are doing between yourself. This is the comfortable setup which you have set for yourselves. Now let's move forward and let's understand the placement of the DARAKARKA in PurvaBhadrapada nakshatra. So when you have the Darakarka placed in the PurvaBhadrapada nakshatra, what it shows is that your partner is a very fierce kind of a personality. He or she wants to uh, comprehend things very quickly. They are warrior, and they are the people actually who can sacrifice all, who can actually fight a war for you. You see, this is the nakshatra which give all of these qualities. And basically what they are fighting for is because of the fact that they are fighting for a higher cause. It is not because of you that they want to spend the life with you. This is not this thing. What I'm trying to explain it here is that the higher cause for them is more of a Pisces nature. So because of the fact, it can be spiritually related, it can be religion related, it can be liberation related also, that they feel that maybe if your families are not allowing you to marry, they will be the person, your spouse would be the person who would say that I will marry this person because I have promised them to, and I will not go back on my words. This is something which your spouse will be manifesting with this Darakarka placed in the PurvaBhadrapada nakshatra. They are a fierce warrior and they are fighting for a higher cause. Moreover, the energy is very spontaneous. They are organized, they are committed. More of the Pisces nature will be more related to they are wise, they are knowledgeable, and all of these things. So basically, the Aquarius nature gives the color of Saturn and Rahu, and here this gives the color of Jupiter. It is also a Jupiter ruled nakshatra, so they can be a good teacher also. So they through their fights, they are fighting for this marriage, for this relationship to be established. Maybe they are establishing some kind of core values. You will feel that you have come to really something which you have dreamed of. This partnership can also feel like this, that this is the person I wanted, or I always wanted my life, and I have got him or her, and I'm very happy. This can also be the same. And your relationship at first will feel like a penance, like I am with this person because of the fact that I did these things wrong, I did these wrongs with these particular people. But it will ultimately transform into something more karmic and spiritually karmic. So you would settle in your life later on. You see, this is not the Darakarka in the PurvaBhadrapada nakshatra gives this fact, it gives this indication that maybe you are feeling unsettled in your married life at first, but later on you will feel that it is a kind of feeling like a home returning kind of a feeling. It is that you have returned to your hospice again. So you see, this is what is represented with this particular placement of the Darakarika in PurvaBhadrapada nakshatra. Your spouse is always working towards a higher cause, maybe in the professional life and even in the marriage setup also. Now let's move forward. Let's understand the placement of the Darakarika in UttaraBhadrapada nakshatra. Now when you have your Darakarika placed in the UttaraBhadrapada nakshatra, what you will see is that your spouse is someone very nurturing and settled kind of a personality. Even if a problem arises in front of him or her, maybe they don't even blink. They have this composure in their personality, this extreme composure, that they have everything in control, even if it is not. And you will have to believe me on this fact that even if the situation is not under their control, they will acquire it somehow. With this particular placement, it suggests. The other thing is that your spouse is marrying you because he is feeling spiritually connected to you. It is like a calming, it is not a flashy instant wave which which went through both of you and you instantly started dating. This is not the fact with this particular placement. Darakarika in UttaraBhadrapada, it suggests that your spouse is relating you, and it is connecting, he or she is connecting you on a very deeper level. Your emotions, they go very deep down. You people are feel connected to each other very much, and it is more of a liberation and moksha kind of a thing which is being activated with this marriage and with this partnership. Darakarika in the UttaraBhadrapada nakshatra can also mean that in some way you people are somehow contributing to this karma of marriage. Like you see, you people, this placement represents that you are successful in your life and your spouse is extremely successful in his or her life, but you people are coming down to a common ground and you are marrying each other. And all of this marriage is not for the flashy moves or for some publicity. It is because of the fact that you both feel connected. Like you see, the celebrities who are engaging in private ceremonies, they don't even allow a single camera into the ceremony, and they only invite close friends and family. This is the exact placement which I am talking about. Because of the fact that you, I'm not saying that you both are a multimillionaire kind of a personality in your life, but you both are successful in your own terms, and you come down to this common level and you are building this partnership and you are growing it together. So it is a very beautiful combination of Saturn and Jupiter, because Saturn is the nakshatra ruler and Jupiter is the sign ruler. So Saturn and Jupiter together are making this kind of karma dharmadipati yoga in your this chart. Not chart, basically in metaphorical terms it is making. And Saturn and Jupiter together are giving some kind of a lesson which is very beneficial in nature. Saturn, whenever it sits with Jupiter or some kind of this placement, suggests that the lessons you learn through partnership or anything, because in your case it will be partnership, are very sweet, and you'll cherish all the moments with your spouse, and you will feel that your partnership is really something which should be cherished by everyone. Like maybe you are writing books for that and all of these things, and you would be telling out people that you should be carrying your married life as such, because this is the epitome of stability which we are putting in front of you. Because you see, UttaraBhadrapada nakshatra, it represents the seabed, and the seabed is quite silent. The waves and the things which are happening up there in the ocean are not felt in the seabed, so it is very composed in nature. So the spouse will also be having all of these personality of composure, patience, and all of these things, but your married life will also be exhibiting these kind of traits. Now, is your married life going to see a kind of instability or not? That will be depending on the Saturn, Jupiter, the DARAKARKA planet, all of these things, and the D9 chart also. But in the basic terms, these things, these karakas will remain same. Now let's move forward and let's understand the placement of the DARAKARKA in Revati nakshatra. So when you have the DARAKARKA in the Revati nakshatra, your spouse is someone who is a child basically, and the child has grown up, because it is the last nakshatra of the zodiac belt and of Mercury also. So Mercury's intellect and intelligence finds maturity in this nakshatra. So what it represents is that the Mercury's nature and Mercury's intellect has converted into something more of a nurturing personality, caring personality, taking into consideration those facts that could be harming to someone. So this means that your spouse would be very protective in a very benefic way, in a very sweet way. They would not be overprotective. So don't wear this, don't go over here, and all of these stuff. They won't be saying all of these things to you, but they would be genuinely be interested in your interests. They want to intermingle with you on a more higher level. Also, you will feel after marriage that you have completed a maximum portion of your life. Like you will feel very cherished, you will feel very comfortable, very happy that yes, my marriage was something which was lacking in my life, and after this marriage, after this spouse, I am really feeling complete in my life. This is the fact, this is the kind of feeling which you will get after getting married. Also, I must tell you that whenever DARAKARKA is placed in the Revati nakshatra, especially for females, their height is more than their spouse. Especially this goes for the females. So this goes for the females, that they are taller than their husbands specifically. The other thing is that the Revati nakshatra, because it is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is debilitated in the Pisces sign, and the Jupiter is the sign ruler. So what it represents is because of the fact that the cancellation of Mercury's debilitation can either be done by Jupiter sitting in Pisces or by Venus, because Venus gets exalted in Pisces. So what it shows is that the Mercury's this dominance here is portraying the fact that your spouse is not someone of a critical nature, which is found in the Virgo sign. They are not about criticism, they are not about disharmony, they are not about conflicts, they are not using their intellect. Now I'm not saying that they do not have intellect. They are really very intelligent, they have wisdom, they have knowledge, but they don't want to use practical knowledge, their practical intellect in this marriage setup. They want everything to be very of a flowing nature, of a like the Revati nakshatra is completely a different world thing, because it is carrying some of the stars from the Andromeda galaxy, not from our galaxy, Milky Way galaxy. So what it shows is that the Revati nakshatra is connecting you to that spiritual plane which you never felt before. So it would be a catharsis for you, this marriage. Even if you have entanglements and if you had relationships before the marriage, then also after marrying you'll feel complete and you'll feel rejuvenated. Actually, your spouse is really a great person. He is knowledgeable, he is wise, or they are wise, they are knowledgeable, and they are someone who are having this complete control and knowledge about where to use the intellect and where not to. And this is the thing which makes a person wise. So this is how you will decode the placement of your Darakarka in the Revati nakshatra. And this was my understanding about the placement of the Darakarka in all of the 27 nakshatra. Do not forget to like this video and share it with your friends and family. And also, please subscribe Galactic Echoes Astrology for such quality content. Thank you.